Hi, welcome to episode 83 of Pink's Picks Book Recs, commentary from a retired high school English teacher. Today I'll be discussing the appeal of alliterative titles, avant-garde characters, afterwords, and author endorsements, specifically regarding two historical fiction pieces set in the mid-1800s, Patti Callahan's Surviving Savannah and Martha Hall Kelly's Sunflower Sisters. Both authors employ rotating narration through the perspectives of three very different women. In Surviving, Everly Winthrop is a history professor at the Savannah College of Art and Design, also known as SCAD. Just prior to her summer sabbatical, she's approached by the director of the Rivers and Seas Museum and asked if she'd consider doing consulting work, researching a recently discovered shipwreck, then creating an exhibit using recovered artifacts. Everly's present-day narrative is juxtaposed with the stories of two female passengers on the ill-fated steamship Pulaski that sank in 1838. As Everly dives deeper, literally and figuratively, into the lives of Augusta and Lily, she discovers that despite the 180 years that lie between herself and the women, their uncanny parallels help Everly heal from her own paralyzing past. The three narrators in Sunflower are Georgie, a Civil War nurse, an abolitionist from Manhattan; Gemma, a smart, spirited young slave who works on a Maryland tobacco plantation; and Anne May, a snuff addict, Confederate spy, and Gemma's owner. Before I even knew what these books were about, their alliterative titles appealed to me. Why? Perhaps we need look no further than 19th and 20th century classics, if not for their editors, respectively, of Mice and Men would have been Something That Happened, The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, The Mute, Pride and Prejudice, First Impressions. Would Jay Gatsby's pursuit of the American dream and relative guilelessness, next Daisy and Tom's carelessness, have seemed as great if the novel, as proposed, had been titled The Road to Trimalchia? Further, I found reading Surviving Savannah and Sunflower Sisters in succession, then discussing them, a perfect pair. A lack of accolades from respected writers is not necessarily a deal breaker for me. However, the opinions of authors I love definitely impact my choices in material. So, when Pink picks writers, Kristen Hanna, Lisa Wingate, and Marie Benedict enjoy a book as they did these, I'm confident I will as well. As I've mentioned in previous episodes, I am a sucker for an apt epigraph. I'm also a fool for an informative afterword. When both are stellar, they serve as beautiful bookends to a story. I'm fascinated to learn in Callahan's afterword, in her case, synonymously labeled author's note, that a few weeks after the start of her research, the steamship Pulaski had actually been found 30 miles off the coast of Wilmington, North Carolina, 100 feet deep. She furthers that this kind of synchronicity sometimes happens, and each time it does, she's led to the mystical knowing that we are all connected, that stories are our lifeline, and that they want to be told. I also love Callahan's inclusion of resources and facts. Similarly, Martha Hall Kelly's afterwards cites what happens historically to each of her factual characters, which serves as a denouement. It should be noted, though, that Sunflower is the last book published in her Woolsey Faraday family trilogy. Chronologically, it comes first. Last episode, I expressed my fears for the future if we fail to learn from the past. I shudder and shake my head when I hear someone say, "Back then, people didn't," as if we, in our present-day society, are more evolved and intelligent than our predecessors. Technologically, yes, but otherwise they did so much more with so much less. The women in Savannah survived the shipwreck on wits and willpower alone. The Woolsey sisters were leaders in the field of nursing, sat on boards of hospitals, were active in Children's Aid Society, and worked tirelessly at the Colored Orphan Asylum, one of the first charities run by an all-female board and staff. I give both of these books A's. As an interesting, I hope, end note, I learned in Sisters that sunflowers were used as cautionary symbols by the Underground Railroad. Until next time, stay safe and don't forget to do your homework.